Is Paqueta off to Man City? Well, that's according to Foot Mercato. Manchester City have apparently agreed personal terms with West Ham's Lucas Paqueta for a long-term contract, although it's thought that no negotiations between the two clubs have yet begun, with a transfer fee likely to be agreed in the summer. Now, the two clubs previously had a deal on the table for the player last summer, with Manchester City willing to spend, at the time, £85 million on the Brazilian midfielder. However, the deal collapsed after the FA began an investigation into the alleged betting breaches. Now, the midfielder has excelled at his time in London with West Ham and has become an essential part of the team that won the Conference League last season and really became just a generalizing essential part of the team. He's a beautiful footballer. He's an exciting footballer. He's one of those players that gets your bums off the seats. Now, despite the ongoing investigation, he has continued his high level of performances for the club and obviously would be admired by some of the best managers around the world, in particular in Europe. And Pep Guardiola is keen to bring him into the city of Manchester. Now, the contract agreement apparently still in place for Lucas Paqueta, but this particular story is something that I think that is, maybe it's not a form of lazy journalism because we're reporting on it and we're reporting on what has been reported from the French media. But I think people are putting two and two together and coming out with the result. It's as simple as we know probably that Paqueta is going to be leaving West Ham in the summer. Like we knew that Declan Rice was going to be leaving West Ham last summer. And we probably clung on to some small element of hope that Declan Rice wouldn't have left last summer. And we're probably going to claw into some hope that Paqueta will not leave West Ham this summer. But there is £85 million on the table, and that is a lot of money to go towards a rebuild. And if his heart is set on moving there, which it was, and we know it was, then it's inevitable that he will move on. We know he will move on. So as much as people are saying that the agreement has been made, I think this could be an element of legacy agreement. I think it's just stirring up some interesting conversations. There's no categoric evidence to say that this deal will definitely happen. There's no categoric evidence to say that Man City are tapping up West Ham players. I don't believe that is what's happened. Well, that's an interesting conversation. I'm not making an accusation, but when you start to hear some of the stories that comes out about Declan Rice, I do kind of think that there was something not particularly right about the meetings that maybe would have taken place early doors with regards to Declan Rice and the Arsenal move, and possibly the same situation with Lucas Paqueta. And at the time when we were thinking he was going to leave, this breach rule thing came out and meant that he was going to stay at West Ham a bit longer. There's a long time. As much as there's not that many games between now and the end of the season, there's still a long way off from making decisions. Do I think this will happen? Is there a high probability that Paqueta will leave West Ham in the summer? Yes. Will he probably go to Man City? Yes. Is it dead cert? No. Have Man City tapped him up? Probably not. Will he want to go and play for a club that plays Champions League football? Yes. Will he double his wages? Probably. Will West Ham walk away with a nice fee? Yes. Do we need that money? Absolutely. Why? Because we've got a massive rebuild in the summer. And you know what? I've said it from all along. West Ham need to be able to learn, like some of the best clubs in the world, to sell your best talent, to be able to invest in the rest of the squad. As much as, yes, we've got Paqueta and we want to see him at the club for the rest of our careers, absolutely. But we need to learn to move on without him. There's going to be big transitions with this club in the summer. I don't want Paqueta to go, but I can live past Paqueta going. We've been here, done that, wore the T-shirt, and we've proven, do you know what? Eventually, we can get rid of some of our best players and move on as a club. And that's exactly what we have done. We have moved on as a club since we got rid of Dimitri Payet, since we've got rid of all the other players that you've maybe looked at your heroes, players that get your bums off the seats. I don't want to see Paqueta go, but is it inevitable that he's going to go? Yes. Are they reporting on something that we probably know? Yes. So it's inevitable. It's probably going to happen, but he's here right now. Can things change? Yes. What could change? Beating Bayer Leverkusen, getting to the semi-finals, getting to the finals, winning that, getting to the Champions League, massive investment into the club. That could change the dynamics, but I still don't think it necessarily will, because the difference between West Ham calling for the Champions League and Paqueta moving to a club that could challenge for winning it is a different ballgame, and winning trophies year in and year out. Anyway, there's a short, sharp, straight one to you. It is reported in the French media. They're not really coming from a particular source. We just have to keep an eye on it. But it's probably reporting on an inevitable, probably reporting on something we already know. So keep an eye on it for the coming weeks. And obviously, when the summer ends, when we'll probably be waving goodbye to our Brazilian Magnifico. Take it easy. See you in the morning. Come on.